Hey vinyl community, how's it going? I'm finally getting around to making another video. I just have a few albums to show you guys today, just a few things that I've gotten over the past couple of months. I have some more stuff coming this month and next month, so I figured I'd do a video now and show you the few records that I have. So first up, I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anybody, but I got myself another copy of SleaterKinney. They're what I think is their best album, Dig Me Out, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Newbury Comics, which is a record store chain in Massachusetts. I have a store about an hour away from me, but they're a really cool record store. I really love them. They come out with all different kind of variants and everything for records. So they came out with a new pressing of this album. So this makes album number 5 for Dig Me Out that I have, but they're all different pressings. There is just one that I have that's a duplicate, but it's signed by the band. So, but this one came out on this lovely white vinyl. So I couldn't really pass that up, so I went ahead and pre-ordered that as soon as it came out. It is limited. I don't remember how many it's limited to, but I definitely had to get my hands on this one. So that's my that I got a little while ago, and always happy to have more copies of Dig Me Out because it's truly an excellent album. If anyone's ever looking to listen to a little bit of SleaterKinney, I always tell people to start with this album because I think it's their best. Yeah, great sound, and kudos to Newbury Comics for coming out with it. So very cool. Next up, one of my favorite artists is Torres, aka Mackenzie Scott. I saw Torres the first time back in 2015 when she opened for SleaterKinney, but I had been hearing a lot of great things about her album Sprinter, which came out in 2015. And she is an amazing artist. This album is still one of my favorites, and it was definitely at the very top of my 2015 list. I actually had a digital copy, but I didn't have a copy on vinyl, which was kind of silly, seeing as it's one of my favorite albums. I listen to it all the time. But when I went to a Torres show recently in Boston, I finally picked it up on vinyl, so I was happy to get that one. She's really excellent singer-songwriter. She just came out with a brand new album, which I also have, called 3 Futures. And the first 100 copies of the album were signed. I have some other stuff that Torres signed because I've seen her a couple of times in concert, and I was actually able to meet her at the merch table one time, and she's an incredibly sweet person, really so talented. I think she's got a huge future ahead of her. A lot of people started comparing 3 Futures to St. Vincent. I guess maybe you can see a little bit of influence there. I mean, Mackenzie has always said that she loves St. Vincent, but but her sound is different, even though this album is veering a little bit more into sort of the self-titled St. Vincent, Mass Seduction territory, but not quite as much. It's definitely not as overproduced, even though this is definitely more synth heavy than her other album. This Sprinter is more guitar driven, and is just raw and incredible. If you haven't listened to Torres, I really think you should check her out because her music is incredible, especially anything off of Sprinter. I think that's the best place to start. She does have an album that came out, her first album came out prior to Sprinter. It's very, very hard to get on vinyl, so I haven't been able to get a copy of that one yet. But this is definitely my favorite album of hers. 3 Futures is really excellent, but I don't think it's quite as good as Sprinter, but it's growing on me. I listen to it a lot, and it's almost there. It's almost as good as Sprinter. But this was a cool pressing too, because it came on limited edition gold vinyl. So you got the beautiful gatefold, and then the vinyl itself is quite lovely. It's sort of a deep gold color with custom center labels. Looks a little greenish in the video, but it's actually a gold. I think it's just the lighting in here. And again, it is signed by Torres, so I was happy. I had been waiting for this for a long time. I'd been waiting for this album since Sprinter dropped a couple years before, so I was waiting and waiting, and as soon as that pre-order link went up, I got it immediately. I'd been waiting a long time for it, and I did want to get a signed copy, even though I have set lists and stuff signed by Torres. So excellent album. Again, check out Torres if you haven't before. I'm going to put some links below the video for some of her best songs, so definitely check them out. When I was at the Torres show, actually it was at the end of September in Boston. Normally when I go to shows, if I don't know the opening band, I like to look them up and listen to their music and sort of get an idea of their sound, but the past while has been so crazy busy for me that I just didn't have time to get around to it. But when they started playing, I really fell in love with their sound. And the opener was The Dove and the Wolf. And it's two singer-songwriters. They are originally from France, but they are now based out of Philadelphia. And beautiful, beautiful harmonies, sort of ethereal music. It's really beautiful. I think I like them better live than I do on the recording. Once I picked it up, it's a little tamer and a little quieter, and I really love the energy that they had live. But it's still a beautiful album. It's very relaxing. Probably the best song on here is called 7 Days, which was written after the terror attacks in Paris. They were back home in Paris, waiting for renewed visas when the attack happened. So they wrote a song about what that did to the community, and you know, it's a really beautiful, beautiful song, very emotional and powerful. And this is kind of, I love the cover on this, it's really pretty, but it also comes on beautiful Coke bottle clear vinyl, so I'll show you guys that. It's very pretty. I like that. I've gotten quite a few albums recently on Coke bottle clear. It's becoming super popular. I think it has been, but it is a nice pressing. So that was I was happy to pick that album up. I really enjoy their sound. It's always great when you go into a concert and you don't know the opening artist and they turn out to be fantastic. It's always cool. And it makes concerts so much more enjoyable when the openers are fantastic too. So the next album that was another one that I had been anxiously awaiting was Julian Baker. Her new album, Turn Out the Lights. Sprained Ankle turned out to be, her first album turned out to be really just a smash hit, and they did multiple pressings because the first pressing on vinyl was very, you know, very small, and each subsequent one they built it up a little bit more. I think I have like a fourth or fifth pressing of Sprained Ankle. It's really impossible to get one of the original ones for a decent price. So when I knew Julian was coming out with a new album, I knew that I had to jump on the limited variant as soon as possible if I really wanted to get it. So this one put out by Matador Records. The first run was on a clear vinyl with pink and purple splatter to go with the painting on the front cover. And it does not disappoint. It's incredibly beautiful, really gorgeous, love it. The album is fantastic. If you haven't checked out Julian Baker, she's, you know, she's becoming a lot more popular, and her music is really beautiful. It's very, it makes me cry. I think it makes everybody cry. A lot of my friends enjoy her music too. It's just very powerful, raw music. She's been through a lot for someone so young, and she brings all of that into her music. So very happy to get that special pressing, that limited pressing. I think maybe this was limited to, I could be wrong. I think it's just 300, maybe 500. Worldwide, so very happy to get that one. And last, I'm a huge fan of Rufus Wainwright. I have been for a very long time. If you haven't listened to Rufus, you're really missing out on an incredible musician and songwriter. His albums are just unbelievable. They're so beautiful, and they are they're hard to get. This album, which I finally got a copy of, Want One, only came out as a promo album. It wasn't for sale. It's very hard to find this. This is a double LP. But I actually was able to finally get one, and I'm so happy to finally have one. And now I have to get Want Two, which is the follow-up to this album. Beautiful, beautiful music. I'm hoping all of you know who Rufus is, because it just seems like everybody should know his music. He's incredible. And his earlier albums are all phenomenal. His later ones, I'm not sure that I enjoy them quite as much, but he's still a spectacular songwriter, and his voice is just incredible. So if you haven't checked out Rufus, you really should. Again, I'll put some links down here in the bottom. But I'm so happy to get this. It was, you know, definitely a decent price. Got it from one of my favorite record shops, which is Cayenne Record Shop in Nyack, New York. So happy to have this as part of my collection, and hopefully I can get some of the other early ones too. So that was great. So that's all I've really gotten recently. I don't have a lot, but I have a lot on pre-order. I actually ordered the New Stars album, but it was, even though it came out a while ago, it was delayed. The vinyl was delayed over and over and over again. And supposedly it shipped and it arrived at my other house. So I'm going to go pick that up this weekend and hopefully have that to show to you guys next time. That was another great album, a band that I absolutely love out of Canada. And then I also have a lot of Gord Downie albums that are coming. I'm a huge Tragically Hip fan, and Gord Downie was one of my favorite artists, and he passed away in October, and I was absolutely heartbroken. I had pre-ordered his album, Introduce Yourself, his new solo album, and that had been announced a few weeks, I think, before he passed away. And the digital album came out, and the CD came out on the 27th of October, so I did get the digital album. And it is as haunting and beautiful as ever. It's a whole set of songs that he wrote after his diagnosis. He died of an incurable brain cancer. They're all personal letters, basically, to people that he loved, people he cared about, and the people that were important in his life. So it's a very hard thing to listen to. It was, especially in the weeks after his death, it really affected me. But I have that coming on vinyl in December, along with a few of his other albums. They finally put Coke Machine Glow on vinyl for the first time, and there were a bunch of other albums. So I pretty much ordered everything I could of his back when they first started putting that stuff up on his site before he passed away. So I have, I think, 5 Gord Downie albums coming in December, so I'm looking forward to that. And I've got a couple of other things on pre-order too, so some new stuff coming. I haven't been buying a whole lot, you know, just I haven't really gotten out to many record stores and trying to save up. So, but hopefully I'll have some new things for you soon. And yeah, I'll be coming at you guys with another video shortly. So I hope everyone's doing well, and until next time, take care. Bye.